Alrighty, what is going on, guys? Caleb here, and this is going to be a very important video. This is going to be all about how to book more appointments, but more specifically, the number one concept that took me from doing maybe 100 messages here and there to doing over 3,000 outreach points every single day. And when I made this shift, it's just one shift, I'm going to break down in this entire video on the shift that I made so that it's ingrained in my head that this is the number one thing. And I promise you guys, if you guys just watch this entire thing and keep an open mind to realize that if you can understand this concept, your brain will work in a manner where it will not be poor anymore, right? This is what's keeping everybody poor. If you guys are currently sending out messages, you're trying to get meetings, and your calendar still looks empty, it's because you do not understand this concept, and I'm going to break it down for you in this video. So let's just dive straight into it. Okay, this is actually from one of our courses here inside of our modules, and we're just going to release it to you guys on YouTube. I'm going to break it down for you. All right, so importance of volume. This is the concept that took me so long to understand. And when you guys truly grasp this idea, whether it be outreach, whether it be paid ads, whether it be any sort of marketing to increase sales in your agency right now to get more appointments, if you could just ingrain this in yourself, I promise you everything else will come easy. Okay. And volume is everything. Okay, you guys might have heard the term volume negates luck. What does that mean? Right? There's a lot of things that can be solved in volume. When I talk to a lot of agency owners, the number one thing that they're doing is that they think that their outreach script is not working. They think that it's their offer. They think that it's their channel. They think it's some sort of thing that they're not doing that's not getting results. When in actuality, the main thing is that you're not sending out enough volume. Let me say that again. You guys are not sending out enough volume. And by volume, I mean spending more money on paid ads, sending out more messages, doing more inputs, putting more into the thing to get something out of that. Right? So here's an example. If you're not talented at basketball, you work 2 times harder. You put in 2 times the amount of work, 2 times the amount of hours, that's your input, to practice, to get better. Right? If you don't practice once, you practice twice. Right? If you're not a good-looking man, you go on 2 more dates, 2 times the amount of more dates, and you will get the outcome that other people are getting that they maybe naturally get. But the thing about business, guys, you don't naturally get anything. Okay, so you have to work and you have to do volume. The reason why we were able to do 25,000 in 1 week, the reason why we were able to pull in any sort of numbers, the reason why we were able to almost cross 1 million in cash collected is because we focused on one thing, which is volume. We just do more. We do more. And how does this relate to appointments? This has everything to do with appointments. Okay, because the amount of appointments that you guys book comes down to the amount of volume that you guys are doing. Okay, so the simple answer to sum it all up is I realized if you could just do more, if I could just do more, if I could do more inputs, if one guy next to me, my competitor or whatever, is doing 1,000 emails, how can I do 10,000 emails? Where now it's like, it's disproportionate. There's no way anybody can catch up to me just because I'm doing so much volume. Okay, that is the answer. There is no secret. There's no hidden answer. The answer is always the most simple answer, which is just do more. And if you can pair volume with skills, if you can pair volume with the fact that you know outbound, you know how to create great offers, you know how to sell people on the phone, then that's truly when you become unstoppable. All right? So let's go ahead and get to the core of appointment setting. Right? The natural law in volume is that there's cause and effect. Okay, this is what I explain to all of our clients. And you need to understand this. So this is super important. If you put something into a machine, you will get something out. Right? There is an input output. There is a direct correlation. That's a natural law, cause and effect. Right? If I eat shit food, I will feel like shit. If I don't socialize with people, I will feel like shit. I will be retarded when it comes to social situations. Right? If I do not work on the business, there will not be an output. Okay? And so for every action, there's an opposite reaction. Right? And this applies to everything in life. And so how does this apply to appointment setting, getting more appointments? It has everything to do with it. Okay? If you put 10 messages into the system, you send out 10 outreach messages, you will get the outcome that 10 messages is worth, right? Which is maybe not even one positive response, maybe one positive response. Now, if you input 10,000 messages into your production, out will come 10,000 messages worth of output, right? Not 500, not 100, right? Not 2,000. If you input 10,000, you will get 10,000 worth of output. Okay, this is what you guys need to understand. And so the question isn't how do I book 20 appointments? The question is not that. You're looking at the output. The question is, how do I get the input that will inevitably get me 20 appointments a week? And that is going to be the number that you're going to change. And I tell that to everyone. Don't focus on the output, guys. Don't focus on the amount of clients. Even when you're looking at the amount of clients that you guys want to sign on, don't focus on that. Focus on what is going to allow you to get 20 clients in a month. Okay, look at that number. And if you backtrack, in order to get 20 clients a month, let's say your closing rate's at 20%, you need to have 100 showed appointments every single month. Okay, you need 100 showed appointments. And then you work backwards. How do you get 100 showed appointments? Let's say you have a 75% closing rate, right? Let's say you need, like, on the high end, 140 booked appointments. Okay, so how do you get 140 booked appointments? Okay, well, you got to do 10,000 messages. And so the question becomes, do not think about how to get the output. Think about how you can send out 10,000 messages and everything else. If you figure out that formula and you just zone in on just changing the input, everything else will follow. I promise you. And this is exactly what I did to get me from 0 to 10K, 10 to 30, right? And then to be able to take it further. And we're still growing every single day, right? And sometimes it's not going to scale vertically, but it's the closest thing to being vertical, right? It is outbound's one of those things in volume and numbers. It's just linear, right? You just keep stacking. And so the goal, again, is not to book X amount of appointments. The goal is to look at what is the input that's required to make it inevitable to get the outcome, the result, which is booked appointments. Okay? And so our entire company, our whole outbound team, when we do changing the inputs, we're just looking at data. Right? Our company decisions are based off of data. The appointments that we want to set, the amount of clients that we want to close, the amount of revenue that we want to collect and grow as a business is all reliant on data. It all stems from what are the numbers, what's the input to get the output. And if you can just understand this concept that it's just numbers and there's nothing different. And if you were to look at where you're at right now with the amount of appointments you guys are seeing, the amount of cash that you're collected, the amount of clients that you're signing on every single month, and then compare that to, let's say, an 8-figure business, I promise you the main drastic differences will be the sheer volume of numbers of things that they're doing. They're spending way more than you on paid ads. They're sending out way more messages. They're having way more conversations. They're making way more dials, right? They're putting in the input. Their input is 20 times, 30 times more than you. And of course, because of that reason, they're an 8-figure company. Not because they're an 8-figure company the other way around. It's because they do the inputs that allow them to be an 8-figure company. And I need you guys to really understand that. Okay, this is what changed it for me, right? And so the reason why I believe that we're so good at setting appointments and the reason why we're so good at outbound is because we understand this concept. We understand this concept of cause and effect. And we understand that it's just math, right? And let me break down what that looks like in terms of math. If I send out 1,000 Facebook DMs every single week and I get 20 leads and 10 appointments, what do I have to do to get to 100 appointments? Okay. Well, I know the ratio is 1,000 DMs. For every 1,000 DMs, because of the math, because I'm tracking data, I can expect 10 appointments. And so it's a 100 to 1 ratio. Every 100 DMs I send, I get 1 appointment. And so it's a 1% rate from new message to booking. So now if I want to do the math and get 50 appointments, all I have to do is not have to change the ratios or anything. All I have to do is ask myself, how can I send out 5,000 DMs? Because I know every 100 DMs will get me 1 appointment. If I want to book 50 appointments, I need to send out 5,000 DMs. That'll get me 100 leads. And I know how the math plays out because I'm data oriented, because I'm tracking numbers, because I understand cause and effect. And out will come 50 appointments. It's almost crazy every time we do this, especially with companies that are above 10K a month, when we come into their business and we just apply cause and effect and we just apply something that was never there before. And it's like, I know with full certainty that out the other side will come appointments. Why? Because it's just inevitable. If you haven't been doing any sort of input and you put something into the input or you make it better, then out will come something. It will come something. And in business and outbound messaging and appointment setting, dialing, it's meetings. It's cash collected. right? And so when you're scaling numbers or scaling appointments, think in terms of numbers and think in terms of cause and effect. And know that every cause that you have will have an effect. Every input that you put in, no matter how small, no matter how big, will produce an output. And the output is directly correlated with what you put into the input. All right. So your goal is broken down to making a simple math equation. Just look at the numbers, backtrack from there, and then execute on actually making that thing happen and working on improving the production, improving the input. That's the number one focus in asking yourself, right? It's just, how do I increase the input? How do I increase the input? The output will follow. You don't have to worry about the output. The input is what you need to change, and everything else will follow. Okay? So simple solution is, again, do more, guys. I promise you, your goals, your dream, the 10K a month, the 100K a month, the 500K a month is all on the other side. Right? I am actively working to build an 8-figure company, and I know to get to 8 figures, it's just me as a leader instilling this into my team, but also just working in the inputs so that it's inevitable for us to become an 8-figure company. And that's what this is all about. All right. So understand value. If you guys want us to, or you want to pay us per show call, or you want us to build a outbound team in-house for your B2B offer, if you run an agency, click the link down below. We have a free training in which we show you the entire process of how we go ahead and book appointments for B2B offers. And that's down below. If not, hope you got value. Make sure to subscribe, give this video a big thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.